First, I would like to thank, on behalf of the over 1 million residents of Montgomery County, I want to thank Chief Manger for his 15 years of service here in Montgomery County. His retirement comes after a career spanning 42 illustrious years of police work, which is amazing. Chief Manger has exemplified what it means to be a public servant here in our county and nationally. He has been resolute in combating crime while maintaining strong outreach in the community. His leadership is reflected in the many awards he has won, including the Law Enforcement Award for the Brady Campaign to End Violence and the Keeper of the Dream Award from the National Immigration Forum. Under Chief Manger's watch, this county has become a safer and more welcoming place, successfully incorporating new technologies in law enforcement and public safety and embracing public engagement strategies. Chief Manger's successor will have a high ethical and professional bar to meet. On behalf of myself, my council colleagues, and of course, the over 1 million residents in Montgomery County, I do want to thank Chief Manger for his dedicated service to our residents and wish him the best as he begins his next chapter in life. Chief Manger, you will be missed. I can say that. I want to turn it over to my colleague, Council Vice President Katz.
Well, thank you very much, Madam President, and congratulations, Chief. When you decided to retire, which is, for those, everybody realizes how difficult a job this is. You know, people talk about a job that's 24/7. This is 25/8. You're constantly on. There's always a crisis that has to be solved, and the chief would be involved. But when you decided to retire, I looked at the history of Montgomery County again, and I realized that of most of the police chiefs who have been chiefs, now it started in 1922, so that's just a little bit before I was born. But I've actually known about half of the police chiefs that have been a chief in Montgomery County. And I have to tell you, all of them, every one of them were fine people, but none of them were finer and did a better job than you did. It is truly remarkable. I don't know what we're going to do. Any of you who have ever been to retirement for a police officer, and they can be very funny. They can be pretty brutal, too. They're pretty brutal on the person that they talk to because they give them pretty good zings. But the chief is the MC for most of those events in Montgomery County. So I don't know how any other police officer can retire unless the chief comes back and does the MC. You know as well as I do that it really is quite a comical and an enjoyable day. But Chief, on behalf of a very, very a community that truly does appreciate all that you did, and of course none of us know 100% of what you did because we weren't with you all the time, but I can tell you our community was a much better place because of what your involvement was. We have a proclamation.
Yes, indeed. All right. Whereas Chief J. Thomas Manger is retiring after 15 years of dedicated service, leading more than 1,300 Montgomery County law enforcement officers and a distinguished 42-year career in law enforcement, which began in Fairfax County, Virginia. And whereas Chief Manger's 4-decade career in law enforcement earned him numerous awards and recognition from the community, including the Silver Medal of Valor, the Fairfax County Human Rights Commission Award, the NAACP's Community Service Leadership Award, the James S. Brady Law Enforcement Award, the Youth Leadership Foundation's Community Champion Award, the Montgomery County Victims' Rights Foundation Public Safety Award, the Anti-Defamation League's Gorowitz Institute Service Award, the National Immigration Forum's Keeper of the Dream Award. In 2012, he was inducted into the Montgomery County Human Rights Hall of Fame. And whereas Chief Manger is a graduate of the FBI National Academy, the National Executive Institute, the Police Executive Leadership School at the University of Richmond, and the Senior Executive Institute at the University of Virginia, and also completed Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School's Program for State and Local Government, and
whereas Chief Manger will now have enough time to distribute the Montgomery Magazine, May-June 2012 edition, where he was featured on the front cover, becoming the highest circulated edition ever, after the chief bought every copy in print. The closest he got to achieving his dream of becoming a famous thespian, and whereas the county may now be able to sever its ties with a popular beverage company due to our diminished need for a never-ending supply of Diet Coke.
Very important points. Now, therefore, Be it resolved that the County Council of Montgomery County, Maryland hereby honors Chief J. Thomas Manger, and be it further resolved that the County Council recognizes Manger's exceptional service, distinguished career, and commitment to public safety and protection and service to the residents, families, and businesses of Montgomery County. Presented on this 12th day of March in the year 2019. Signed by myself, Nancy Navarro, Council President, and Sidney Katz, Council Vice President. Congratulations and thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
I know you have a couple of those.
Yeah, thanks. So do I get to speak?
No, you don't get to speak. No, go ahead.
So thank you to all of the council. I'm very appreciative of this proclamation. Even more appreciative of the Diet Coke. It's tough to know what to say. I recall over 15 years ago when I was appointed by then County Executive Doug Duncan, and I had been the police chief in Fairfax County for 6 years at the time, and some reporter asked me, so what's the biggest difference between being the chief in Fairfax and now being the chief of Montgomery County? And my response was that since my parents lived in Silver Spring, that having my mother as a constituent was going to be the biggest difference. So I will tell you that it was a great decision to come back to Montgomery County. I grew up here in Silver Spring and went to Blair High School with the Go Blazers, so it was really a great pleasure for me to come back and serve here. I have to tell you that when I got here, I thought, well, I'll do 5 or 6 years, and then we'll see what's next. And so now, here 15 years later, I have to tell you that I don't feel like I'm an outsider. This is my department. This will always be my department. I have a great affection for Montgomery County and the work that everybody in county government does here. And so this is a great honor, and I'm very appreciative to all the council members for this recognition.